Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, your favorite and sexiest spiritual advisor, Empress Oracle. I hope everybody is doing well today. On behalf of Starseed Galactic Federation, I have been given access to this knowledgeable information from my Akashic records for the purpose of helping humanity. This information has been given to me as a divine channel, and any use and or reproduction of this information without the proper accreditation or acknowledgement from where it was received will result in instant karma for the plagiarizing parties and or individuals. And so it is. So today, y'all, this topic I'm going to talk about is overcoming low self-esteem. Now, this is for men and women. So don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, don't feel like just because you a dude, you don't suffer from that. Because let me tell you something, honey. Men having low self-esteem issues is at an all-time high right now. And how you really can tell if a man has low self-esteem is by how he treats somebody that he finds attractive. Somebody that he's attracted to. Somebody that he likes. Trust me, I know. When a man has low self-esteem, they will try to lower yours. A female also, because females do this as well. Because let me tell you something. Hold on, y'all. I feel like I got an eye boogie. Hold on real quick. Oh, shit. Did I get it, y'all? Well, I guess it don't matter now. But anyway, females will do that also too. I have seen quite a lot of women where I'm wondering, like, how the fuck did she get this guy? Because this man is fine as hell and she's frumpy, fat, frowsy, feisty, just all the F's except for fuckable. And that's because the guy will have low self-esteem. He might not realize how good he looks. You know, he may have grown up, he might have been the ugly duckling, he may have been a nerd or lame or something when he was younger. And as he grew and matured into his looks, he still does not see his value or his worth. So she sees that. And a lot of times, females like that, they'll try to lure in a man like that by buying them gifts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? By basically taking care of them. So the man is like, okay, yeah, I got this. And then as soon as they get them where they want to, women have a tendency. Men do this too. But the woman, the first thing they'll try to do, a man or a woman, if they have low self-esteem, this is not even the route that I was going to go. So this message is definitely for somebody. So I hope that you take this into account. Now, the male or the female, whichever one is all the F's, right? The first thing that they're going to do to try to lower that person's self-esteem is they're going to try to alter their appearance. So either they're going to try to make them feel insecure whenever they put on something nice. And you know, when you want compliments from your significant other, you know, that's half of the battle right there. That's half of the reason why people choose to, you know, spruce themselves up. You want to look good for your significant other. So because they know that you're looking for those words of affirmation, of love from them, they'll try to shoot your self-esteem down little by little. Every time they see you, they have something to say. They give you backhanded compliments, make you feel insecure about what it is you're wearing. All of a sudden, when you met them, you were looking beautiful. Now, all of a sudden, they have a problem with the makeup that you wear. And they have a problem with you putting on all that cologne, even though you just go into the corner store. Or they have a problem with your gray sweatpants, even though they met you in gray sweatpants, right? All of a sudden, you for the streets and this and that. Basically, they'll just try to beat down your character, and they'll try to beat down your self-esteem. And you know, repetition is what causes habits. So if you're repetitively hearing this negative talk from somebody else, you will start to believe it. You will start letting go of those practices that you did in the first place to raise your self-esteem. And so then you're just in a cycle. You're traveling backwards. So that's why it's very important for you to be aware, women and men, because there are a lot of women who purposely attack male self-esteem and confidence on purpose, so they feel as though they're not good enough to go and find somebody better than them. And there are plenty of men who do this to women. I have been in many relationships where men have attempted to lower my self-esteem or to shatter my self-confidence because of the way that I look. And a lot of times, because I'm also a very chill person, They'll mistake my kindness for weakness. So they'll try to dip their toes in the water and test to see how far they can go. They'll try to see, how much they can shatter my self-esteem. And then they end up getting fucked up and kicked out, because Keisha don't play that. Empress Oracle don't play that either, right? That's why it's very important for you to know who you are, so that nobody else can tell you differently. Now, at the same time, while you know who you are, that does not mean to be delusional. Of course, you always supposed to see the best of yourself. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, other people see the good in them or the potential in them before they see it themselves. And those are the type of people that will intentionally go and try to lower your self-esteem before you realize your own worth. You have to be careful of that. Gotta be here. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel a little gassy. I had some Taco Bell, y'all. Anywho, as I was saying, I took some notes. The first step in raising your self-esteem is to have positive self-talk. We can be our biggest critics, and we all know that is so true. And it is a proven fact that people view you 20% more attractive than you view yourself. Now, I heard that statistic a very long time ago. I don't recall where I got it from, but anybody want to Google it, feel free. And if the percentage has raised, feel free to add that also for anybody who may be interested. However, the moral of the point of the story of the statement is that we look at ourselves, we are our harshest critics. We notice every flaw and every imperfection about ourselves. However, what we don't realize is those flaws, those imperfections, that's what make you beautiful. That's what makes you unique. If everybody was to look the same, imagine how boring this world would be. You should be secure in who you are, all right? And even on your bad days, there's always somebody out there looking worse than you. Don't worry about it. Just don't let that be you, okay? Whatever you continuously tell yourself is what you will believe. That's why I was saying repetition is what causes habits. So that's why it's important for you to be aware of who you have around you, who you have in your circle. Because a lot of times, a lot of people, they don't like you, but they'll be too pussy to come out in your face and just say it straight up. So as I said, they'll give you those backhanded compliments, or they'll do other things that'll make you start doubting yourself. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't trust your own judgment, then you should not be trusting anybody else's. If you can't be realistic with yourself, then anybody can lie to you and tell you bullshit and blow smoke up your ass, and you're going to believe that. You have to know who you are. You have to be realistic with yourself. Like, okay, now look in the mirror. All right? And sometimes some people are delusional, so they may see things that are not really there. But that's when you have to be realistic. You may have to ask somebody that you trust if you're feeling unsure about yourself. But personally, I feel as though instead of asking other people, it's best for you to pray and ask God to give you that discernment so that you can truly know what truly works for you and what doesn't. So that way you don't have to worry about trusting people, because you put your trust in the Lord and he's never going to lead you the fuck astray. I know it sounds like I'm preaching. I don't care. I've been a child of God my whole life, and I feel very strongly, and my faith has helped me to build up my self-esteem in many times situations where people have intentionally tried to make me feel horrible in order to make themselves feel comfortable. Me personally, I don't know how many other attractive people can relate to this, but unfortunately, the more attractive you are, the harder it is for you to maintain a positive self-image and self-esteem, because there are so many other people that are not pleased with their outer appearance. They're not pleased with their lifestyle. And so they try to project it onto attractive people and make you feel bad for having the looks that God blessed you with, or your surgeon blessed you with, or whatever. Because if you can afford to improve yourself, you should. If that's what you want to do, fuck what everybody else is talking about, plastic surgery. Fuck them. They're just mad because they can't afford it. If you feel as though something like that is going to make you feel better about yourself, you should go for it. Don't worry about what society is saying. Society goes with the wind, right? Society is just a bunch of bandwagoners. Have a mind of your own and know what you like for yourself. Pray, ask God for that discernment, so that you know when something is good for you, you know when something is not, and lean towards the things that make you feel good. That's how you raise your self-esteem, going towards the things that make you feel good. And I'm not talking about drugs and alcohol, because that's temporary. A lot of people, instead of working on their self-esteem, they choose, these other negative outlets and avenues. And yes, while you may feel great and on top of the world while you high on coke or while you're drunk, once that high comes down, you're back to feeling like shit about yourself. And then you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. And we're at the point in time where it's time for us to not only be aware of those negative things, but to break those toxic cycles so that we can progress and so that we can be our best selves. Right? Right. So, even when your ego tells you otherwise, you have to know better. Because as I say, I have a video that says intuition versus ego. So it lets you know the difference, because, we all have voices in our heads that talk to us. Now, one of those is our ego, and one of those is our intuition. Our intuition is what guides us along the game of life, right? It's the thing that helps us to be in touch, to feel, to use all of our senses together. That's more intuitive, when you're using all of your senses together. Now, your ego is what may tell you negative things. That's what may induce the negative self-talk, the self-limiting beliefs, the fears and everything, because your ego is always going to be loud, brash, harsh, and negative, right? It may tell you, and when I say your ego may be negative, sometimes your ego may speak to you negatively, or your ego may tell you to do things that are not for your highest good. They're not going to make you come off in a positive light, or they may be just selfish and self-serving. And at the end of the day, once you're done doing that, you realize what a piece of shit you really are. That's your ego. Don't do that. Don't let your ego tell you that you're something that you're not. That's why it's very important for us to take the time to spend alone to get to know ourselves, because to thine own self be true. All right? And if you don't know who you really are, anybody can tell you anything and you'll believe that shit. And that shit right there just knocks down your self-esteem brick by brick. And that's the issue that a lot of people are having today in this world, because they have not spent that time with themselves. And the society is telling them they ain't it. All of a sudden they suicidal. Work on whatever you are insecure about, or accept it and move on. I can't say that shit enough. Like, for example, you have fat people who are overweight by society standards, or hell, by health standards, overweight, obese, whatever it is. You have some people who have decided to accept, their state of obesity or overweightness. They're comfortable in it. They don't have any health issues. They move just right. They like the way that they look, and that is perfectly okay. Don't let nobody tell you you a fat, sloppy bitch, right? No. Take care of yourself, look good, and be your best self, because not everybody is supposed to be a size 2. Not everybody's supposed to be a size 8. That's why the world is full of variety, which is a beautiful thing. But if you know that you are a contestant, a runner-up for my 600-pound life, if you know you take 2 good steps, your knees hurt, your back hurt, your hair hurt, you can't breathe, you could barely sit up on your own, it take you like 5 to 7 of these to get out the car, you got to build the momentum to push yourself up, then you know that you have a problem. And things like that, a lot of times people get comfortable in those things because they feel like the work that they would have to put towards bettering themselves, they feel as though it's too much and they don't want to do that. But really, as I always say, step by step, day by day. And honestly, the bigger your problem is, the easier sometimes it is to revise it or fix the issue, because you have to take large steps to do that. So those large steps take a lot, right? It takes away a lot of the issue. Anything worth having is worth working hard for. So if there's something about you that you're not secure about, work on it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just like, okay, when they say in recovery, the first step is admitting that you have a problem. Okay, you've already admitted to yourself that you have an issue, you're not comfortable with something. Go ahead and fix it. Nobody's going to judge you for changing for the better. Nobody should judge you for bettering yourself. The people who do judge you for bettering yourself, those are the people who are jealous because they don't have the courage to better themselves. Anybody who is of a positive mindset and a high vibration, they're going to cheer you on. They're going to sit there. They're going to give you words of encouragement. They're going to say, yes, you can do it. And even if there's nobody around you that's telling you those things, you should be able to tell yourself that, because nobody truly knows your full potential except for God. Even sometimes we think we might know how far we can go, but God will always show us. Sometimes God puts us in predicaments. Sometimes God puts us in situations where our self-esteem might be low and we feel like we can't take it anymore. We can't go anymore because he wants to show you your strength, right? But you have to believe in yourself. You have to work on it or accept it and move on. But now if you accept a situation that makes you feel low about yourself, shut the fuck up crying about it, because don't nobody want to hear that shit, because you the one who chose that shit, right? So deal with it on your own. That sounds like a personal problem to me. Don't be bitter and spew that bitterness around the world. Don't go from a victim to a predator. Don't do that. A lot of people do that. A lot of people grow up in situations where they were belittled and they had low self-esteem because of their family members or people around them. And instead of growing up and doing the opposite, they choose to become a bully as well. They choose to try to lower other people around them as well, so that they can feel like everybody's equal, or they don't want people to have a higher self-esteem than them. So they'll try to pull them down emotionally. That is unhealthy. Don't do that. Either fix it or move on. Find somebody you admire and look at them as a mentor. Make sure that it is the positive attributes that you would like to learn and emulate from that person. That's another area where people end up steering themselves wrong, is because they may have low self-esteem. So they look at people, whether they're in the community or on TV or whatever the fuck, and they're looking at the wrong people as role models, right? And certain things, everybody's not meant to be Scarface. Everything is not meant for everybody, right? So you can't sit there and feel as though money, material things are going to raise your self-esteem, because at the end of the day, they will not. And instead, you'll be trying to buy people's love. You'll be trying to buy people's affection, buy people's attention and stuff. So people really not caring for you. They're caring for you for what you can do for them. However, if you find somebody who is confident and secure in themselves, they live themselves out loud. They live themselves out loud. Okay? And anything that they do, they move with pure positive intentions. They don't cause harm to people. They might cuss somebody out, because you have to stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. But they're a positive influence on people around them, their peers, the environment, their energy is high. That's the type of people that you need to surround yourself around. See the things that they do to help them to elevate their vibration, to feel good about themselves. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to learn. People are more focused on emulating the wrong things from people, because that's what they feel like looks cool. And sometimes it's not about looking cool, because something can look cool today and be out the door tomorrow. That's why it's important for you to have some of your own morals and values, so that you can find a positive mentor, somebody that's going to last through trends, war, stress, strife, poverty, somebody that you can look up to, so that just in case you don't know how to act in those situations, you have a positive representation of how to do so. And then you tailor and incorporate your own ways. You find your own self, you find your own niche from that, right? Positive affirmations are very important, because so many people are so used to believing what people told them they are, or who people told them they are. Oh, you ain't shit just like your daddy. You a hoe just like your mama. Sometimes you have to reprogram yourself. Sometimes you have to look yourself in the mirror in the eye, and you have to tell yourself positive things, because all you've heard and all you grew up around is just negativity your whole life. And you are the only person that can speak that positivity into yourself. And that is okay. That is okay. God gave you that yearning. God gave you those words and that want for a reason. Sometimes you got to do this alone. Sometimes you have to build up your self-esteem, your courage, and your character by yourself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can do that. You can. God would have never put you in that position if you were not able to do that. So believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Tell yourself positive things. Look yourself in the mirror. Say, yes, I can. I'm the shit. I'm that nigga. I'm that bitch. Whatever the fuck you want to tell yourself that's going to make you feel better about yourself. And believe it. Believe it. Okay? Believe it. Repetition is the start of habits. That's how you form habits, right? Speak it into the universe. Speak it into existence. Claim it, believe it, and act like it. Not just around people to impress them, but when you're alone also too. Because when you only do certain things when you're around certain people to impress them, that is like one of the biggest red flags of low self-esteem or insecurity, because you're not being true to yourself. So you're going to feel fake. You're going to feel like you're living a double life. Who do that? Who? I must, I know me, you know. When you look better, you feel better. All right? When you look better, you feel better. Self-esteem 101. Self-care equals self-love. And you cannot have a healthy self-esteem if you do not properly care for yourself and if you do not properly love yourself. Nobody can properly love you if you do not properly love yourself. And that's how a person knows how much you care about yourself, is how you carry yourself, how you treat yourself. What kind of self-care do you do for yourself? Do you do any self-care for yourself? Are you just a yes person? Are you so busy pouring into everybody else that you're not pouring into yourself? Because people notice that. They do. They notice that. And that's how they pick their victims. All right? When you look like you care about yourself, it looks like you have standards. It looks like you have morals. A lot of times that will deter a lot of negative things away from you. But you have to start. It starts at home. It starts within yourself. Know your worth. And if you feel as though you have none, ask yourself why. Usually it's outside influences that make you feel that way. As I said before. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Life is hard enough on its own. The only person you have to keep up with is yourself. Are you doing a good job of that? I hope so. But if you're not, make sure you check out my shop on Etsy, Empress Oracle Shop. There I have items that can help you with your self-love, your self-care, hiring your vibration, raising your vibration, right? Attracting more positive energy towards you. I have crystals for everybody. Unisex. I also do custom orders. I have bath salts that can cleanse away all the negative energy from you. All those self-limited fears, doubts, and beliefs can all wash away. Give it all back to the universe. And I have healing body butters for everything that you may need to tend to that's important in your walks of life, i.e. love, money, and protection from these negative energies and elements that cause low self-esteem. So make sure that you check me out. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I love you all. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to me. I love you.